Hello, Antonio Rolls here again. I'm creating a series of very small videos on navigating the landscape after the loss of someone from addiction, suicide or overdose, or in fact any tragic, lonely, isolated death, and there are plenty of them. We who are left have to navigate the landscape ahead of us because we are still alive, we're still breathing. Somehow we have to make sense of our present, their past, our past, and accept that there is a future because while we still breathe, we are still here and we have to find purpose. My purpose, after losing both my boys to suicide and addiction deaths, is to create a huge exhibition called Beloved. And behind me is my latest big painting, if I get out of the way of the light there. These here are all the beloveds who have died and are actively helping other souls who are dying here on the earth in this lonely way to be taken up into the light. So why a beloved? I've mentioned this on a couple of other videos, but because a suicide death or an addiction or an overdose death or any of these lonely, desperate deaths of people we love after traumatic lives, or in fact just through traumatic circumstances, we have to come to terms with not only their terrible life but their terrible death too. And in our minds we can think that either there is nothing and their life was pointless because they've died and there's no respite for them, there's no resolution, they just suffered and were disappeared into thin air. Or some people think that they die and then they go and suffer because they killed themselves or they lived badly, and so there is not an end of their suffering but a long, different, drawn out, relentless other kind of suffering, which none of those to my mind are helpful or good at all. So I believe that nobody dies alone, and that, let's just use my boys, Kostya and Dmitry. Kostya was 29, Dmitry was 27. Kostya died of addictions and possible overdose and possible suicide. Dmitry died of actual suicide. I found him hanging. The beloveds died these lonely deaths themselves, and they were collected by people who had died, souls that had died in their way, up in the light, and they were the beloveds, and every soul that's taken up into the light becomes a beloved and helps people on earth. So Dmitry, in my opinion, was collected, so was Kostya, by a beloved who looked like they did when they were on this earth, so that they don't frighten the person they're coming to collect. So if they look like somebody who's rough and a junkie and living under a bridge, that's what they come down as, so that the person here who is dying in this way is not frightened. So my exhibition, I'm creating this exhibition called Beloveds, about these beloveds who are in the light, ready to help other people who have suffered so much to be healed and loved and laid to rest with peace and purpose and love in the light somewhere, wherever that is. This painting here is a really big one. It goes on that way and that way and that way and that way. And these are the beloveds that are gathered. You know, they're just gathered to remind us that they're there. And this is my Dmitry. This is Joe. This is Kieran. This is Edward. This is Kostya. This is Reese. And this is James. So there are portraits of real, much loved, beautiful beloveds in this painting. My exhibition is coming up soon where I will unveil about 10 or more of these paintings, some of them very big, and I will explore the idea of suicide and addiction and overdose deaths, turning it into the light and having the last moments of somebody here on earth who is in trauma and difficulty changed by the beloveds into light and consolation, and changed forever out of the darkness which has no power over the light, and therefore into bliss and joy. Yeah, come to the exhibition. I'll put the dates below. Brighton in May, Edinburgh Fringe Festival in August. And come and say hello. Come and say hello to my team, Kath, Ange, Maddie and Vanessa. And yeah, come and see and tell me your story. Maybe you have a beloved. Maybe you know a beloved. Bye.